Hey everybody, I'm Chris Casciano. I am the creator of Escaping Tenebris the Dungeons, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to play. So let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing we have to get acclimated to is our hero sheet here. Over here on the left-hand side of your hero sheet are all your attributes. So you got your speed, your attack, your defense, your magic, and your health. Those are all going to start at 0, so you can fill those in right away, and your health, though, is going to start at 30. So as you guys go throughout the book, these are all going to change and they're going to get higher, so not to worry. If they seem low right now, they're going to change. So your speed is how obviously fast you are, and you're going to use this a lot in combat when you're attacking your enemy because this is basically how you're going to hit your enemy. Are you faster than them or are you not? So you're always going to compare your speed score to your enemy's speed score. Once you hit your enemy or your enemy hits you, you're going to be doing your attack. So that's basically how hard they are going to hit you or you are going to hit them. So you want your attack to be pretty high or else you're not going to be able to damage them. So it's basically how much damage you can do is how strong you are, your attack. So maybe you'll have to move, besides being in combat, you might have to move a boulder or do something that requires strength. That's going to be your attack. If you have to dodge a trap or something as you read, that's going to be your speed. Your defense is like your armor. So the more armor you have, the higher your defense is going to be, and that's going to mean you're going to lose less health when you get hit by something. So you want high defense. Magic is going to be how you're going to cast these spell scrolls over here. There's lots of magic spell scrolls in the game, so you're going to want a decent magic score so you can cast some of these very awesome spells. And then health. Health starting at 30, it's always at 30, and if you're in combat, it always, it might diminish, and if you reach 0 health, that means you die. So these temporary scores over here are if something happens that changes your original attribute. So let's say you've got your speed based on items that you collect over here in the equipment category. Those might be able to enhance your speed. So let's just say your speed gets up to 3 somehow. And you have consumed a potion that will make your speed greater. And let's say your potion brings it up by 2. You just put a temporary 5 in here because your speed has increased by 2 temporarily for the duration of a combat or something. So things might change, and you just put a temporary score in each one of these if that happens. So it also could go the other way. So maybe you break your leg, and it says deduce your speed by 4. Now remember, your attributes can never go below 0. So if something happens where you get a -4 to your speed, you're not going to go to -1. Your speed is going to be temporarily 0. So those are all temporary locations to write stuff down if something happens that's going to change one of these attributes. Your backpack items, you're going to pick up cool things and you're going to put them in your backpack. Whenever you pick something up in the book, it's going to tell you exactly where to put it. Are you going to put it in your backpack, or are you going to put it in your equipment, or is it going to be a spell scroll? It's going to tell you what to do with it. So backpacks are probably going to be potions or other cool things. You just fill those in right here. Your equipment, this is just like real life. You have 2 hands. And you can carry something in each one of your hands. You can wear something on your torso. You can wear something on your head. You have room for 2 rings you could wear, and you have gloves. You have feet to put things on, like boots or shoes, and you can wear a cloak. So this is your equipment, and again, your equipment is going to enhance everything that's over here. It's going to enhance all your attributes, depending on what you pick up. And then your spell scrolls over here, you have magic spell scrolls that you're going to come across, and you can cast them, like I said, with a high magic score. And you are going to write your spell scrolls in here. The cast number is how difficult it is to cast one of these spells. So the cooler, the more awesome thing that happens, the cast number is going to be higher. So if your cast number is 8, then your spell is going to do really awesome things. If your cast number is like a 4, then your spell might not be as awesome. So depends. Your memory points are really important. You're going to gather memory points throughout your journey here, and depending on how many memory points you gather, you're going to gain a memory. So at 1,000 memory points, you're going to gain a memory. At 2,200 memory points, you're going to gain another memory. And we keep going. All these memory milestones will gain you a memory, and with a memory, You just jot your memory down here, and we're going to get into those later. You're going to get a great ability that goes with each one of these memories. And then lastly is your saving point page. This is like a video game. If you die, spoiler alert, you're probably going to die. You're going to, instead of starting the book entirely over again, you're just going to write your saving point page down here. So as you read, it's going to be like, hey, you've reached a saving point. Write that number down. And we're going to write that number down right here so you don't forget. And as you go, you die, oh well, you can just go right back to your saving point page, and you're going to actually erase anything that you've gathered, and you basically start over at your saving point page instead of going back and restarting the whole book. And that, in a nutshell, is your hero sheet and everything you have to know about that. So something you're going to be using a ton of is the random number chart. It is at the back of the book. There's 2 of them. You can use either one. And they all work the same. Basically, if you are fighting an enemy, you're going to have to pick a number from the random number chart, and it determines how you hit, how you attack, how much damage you do, and this is all coming later in the combat section. But you're going to use this a lot when you fight things, and you're also going to use this if you have to make some sort of check as you're going and reading throughout the book, like you have to run fast to make a speed check. If you have to cast a spell, you have to make a magic check. All of this is determined by picking a number from the random number chart, and all you do is close your eyes, put your pencil down in a random spot, and whatever your pencil lands on, that's the number that you pick. If it lands on a line, you just take the higher number of the 2. And at the back of the book, like I said, there's actually 2 random number charts. You can use either one of them. And that is how you use the random number chart. Okay, the first thing we're going to highlight here is the equipment boxes on the upper right-hand side of your hero sheet. And this would be potentially like it would be in real life, right, where you could wear a ring on either hand. You have something on your head. You could have something on your torso. You could equip a weapon in your main hand or your offhand. You can wear something on your hands like gloves, something on your feet like boots or shoes, or you can wear a cloak. So all these things can be equipped, and you are going to find equipment as you go throughout your journey here, and sometimes you'll find them just walking along on your journey, and other times you'll find them after you beat a monster or something like that. So for example, the bronze short sword. When you pick something up, it'll tell you exactly what it does and its special ability, if it has any, and where to put it. So the bronze short sword belongs, it'll probably say, on your offhand or your main hand. You can equip it to either. It'll tell you exactly where your items are going in the book, and it'll tell you what it does. So the bronze short sword gives you a +2 to your attack. It also has the ability haste. Haste, it'll tell you if your weapon or your equipment has a special ability. It'll tell you exactly what it does on the page that you pick it up. And there's also a glossary of magical abilities in the back of the book, and you can just look up at any time what haste does, and as well as all the other abilities that reside in the book. So you can only have 1 item per box, right? So if you have leather shoes on and then you go out throughout your journey and you find better shoes, you will have to get rid of these leather shoes, erase it all together, and then just put your new equipment in here instead. So only 1 equipment per box, and as you acquire these things, your attributes will most likely go up. So if this is an example of a partially filled out equipment box. So if I add these up, so like my magic, for example, I got +2 for magic. My magic, when you start the book, is at 0, right? So I got +2. We're up to 3. We're up to 4. We're up to 5. And that looks like it's it. And so if we look over here on the left-hand side, we will see that our magic score is indeed 5. So you just add up your equipment and the attributes that it gives you, and you just mark it down over here, and you adjust these attributes as you go. Sometimes your memories will give you additional attribute points over here, but it looks like right now in this example, none of these memories give us additional attributes. So that is your equipment boxes. Okay, so we are going to do a sample combat here, and we are going to be fighting the Inept Guard, which is, spoiler alert, the first monster you encounter in your journey. Now, because it's at the beginning of the book, our hero sheet is looking kind of wimpy, but that's okay. We'll get better as we go. So we don't have a lot. We just have our femur club here, which is our only weapon, and we have a spell scroll shock. So We're going to start the combat round, and at the beginning of the combat round, you say to yourself, do I want to attack with my weapons, or do I want to attack with a spell scroll and cast a spell? So let's start out with weapons, and we're going to say we're going to attack with weapons. So right now it's going to be his speed versus our speed. So our speed is 0 because we don't have any cool things yet. And his speed is 1. So it's our speed 0 versus his speed 1, and he has the leg up right now. So let's go to the random number chart. And first we pick for us. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to put my pencil down, and it's a 6. A 6 plus 0 is a 6, unfortunately. Then it's his speed. I'm going to close my eyes and put my pencil down, and oh, it's a 7. But he gets plus 1. So his total is an 8. 8 versus our 6, meaning he's hit us. So now we got to go to the attack. What is his attack? It's 1. So again, we go to the random number chart. We close our eyes, put our pencil down. He's done 6 damage to us, plus his 1 attack, so that's a total of 7 damage. And our defense is 0, which is unfortunate because we don't have any cool things as armor. But let's just say, for the sake of this demonstration, let's pretend our defense is a 2. So he just did 7 damage to us. We would minus our 2 defense, meaning he's only done 5 damage to us. So let's cross off 30 and put down 25. And now we're at 25 health. So that is the end of that combat round. Let's go to the next combat round. Again, we have to decide, do we want to attack with our weapons or do we want to cast a spell? Again, let's attack with our weapons. Let's go to the random number chart. It's our speed versus his speed. So let's put our pencil down, close my eyes. I got a 7, and plus 0 is 7, and his speed is it's a 1. So what happens when a 1 is picked with you or your enemy? That means it's an automatic failure. So he automatically fails, meaning we have hit him automatically. It doesn't matter what anything else means. A 1 is an automatic failure all the time, but a 12 is an automatic success every single time, no matter if you're picking it or your enemy is picking it. So we just won a speed. So now what is our attack? Our attack is 1. Let's go back to the random number chart and close our eyes, put our pencil down. We've done 5 damage plus our 1 is 6 damage, but what is his defense? His defense is 2. So 6 minus 2 is 4. We've done 4 total damage to him. So I'm going to go down here. And I'm going to cross out 12 and put the number 8 down. And that concludes that combat round. Let's do it one more time just to make sure we're all on the same page here. So back to the random number chart. Our speed is, again, a 6. His speed is an 8 plus 1 is 9. So our 6 versus his 9. He's hit us. Now we're going to move to attack. His attack is 1. And 5 plus his 1, he's done 6 damage to us. We're pretending our defense is 2, so that's minus 2. So he's done 4 damage to us. So we're down to 21. Okay, now the combat keeps going like this until somebody wins, basically. But let's try to cast a spell now. So, like I said, at the beginning of a combat round, you can choose to either attack with weapons or with a spell. So let's try to cast a spell here. On the lower right-hand side of your hero sheet, you have spell scrolls. And these are all scrolls that you're going to pick up throughout the game. And the spell shock right here is one you're going to pick up really quick early on. So let's try to cast shock here. So enemy is going to lose 4 health, ignoring their defense. So in order to cast shock, though, you need to pick a 5 or more on the random number chart. So new combat round has started. I have elected to cast a spell. I go to my random number chart, close my eyes, and I pick a 5. A 5. A 5 plus my magic score is a 10. So, of course, I cast a spell because I picked a 5 or greater. So shock has been successful, and now I'm going to go over here and deduct 4 from my enemy. So now he's down to 8. So now that shock is used, I cannot use shock again. Okay, so let's just pretend that I missed or I was not successful casting a spell. All these spells have different casting numbers. If you are not successful casting a spell, then that means the enemy automatically hits you. So if I didn't cast shock, that means the enemy would automatically hit with his 1 attack, and I'd pick, and the same thing. So if I pick a 9,
he would deal 10 damage to me minus my 2 defense. So whenever you fail on a spell, you are automatically hit by your opponent. And that concludes combat and how it works.
Now, don't forget, though, if everything that we just went over was way too confusing for you, there's an easy combat guide located right at the back of the book, and it just explains everything in a nice, easy flow chart. So all that, if you forget, it's all outlined right at the back of the book, and you just follow the flow chart very easily. So don't forget that's there. Okay, so part of combat sometimes is status effects, and things happen to you, things happen to the enemy that you're fighting that may affect the battle. So let's take a look at this lizard knight here, and on most enemies you're going to find this here, right here. That's the status tracker. Let's zoom in on it. And you'll see here that many things can happen to either you or your enemy. So you get burned, drained, entangled, you could take flight, you can get poisoned, or become transparent. So all those things could happen to you or your enemy. So this chart here is just here to design, it's designed to help you remember what has happened. So let's take a closer look at this guy. So let's say you're fighting the lizard knight, and he has a special ability. So it says poison. Should you lose health as a result of your enemy's attack, you are poisoned. Lose 2 health at the conclusion of every combat round. If you cast a healing spell or drink a healing potion, your poison is cured. So let's just say you do lose health because you're fighting this lizard. What you do is you would go in and under the hero section, because you are the hero, you would just bubble in the fact that you are poisoned, right? So now you remember that you're poisoned, and at the end of every combat round, you're going to lose 2 health. Now, the same thing could happen to your enemy. There's lots of different things that could happen, right? So you might have a potion, you might have a special ability on a weapon, you might cast a spell that may cause something to happen to your enemy as well. So if I go back to like the glossary of special abilities in the back of the book, poison is right on here, so you might have an equipment ability that could do the same thing. And if you poison our lizard friend here, you would do the same thing. I have now poisoned the lizard, and you would just fill that little bubble in there. So now you remember that he is poisoned. Same thing could be said for a lot of different things. One more example would be, let's see, fireball. Fireball. So a fiery, this is a spell, so you could cast a spell. A fiery orb of burning death launches towards your opponent. Your enemy loses 10 health, ignoring their defense. Additionally, they are burned right there, burned, and lose 1 health at the start of every combat round thereafter. So let's say you successfully cast Fireball, and your enemy is burned. All you got to do is go to this status tracker over here, and go to the enemy section, and then fill in the bubble that he is burned. And that is how status trackers work.
Okay, so next we're going to talk about our backpack items, and you can find these right in the middle of our hero sheet right there. And when you travel throughout your journey here in the dungeons, you are going to come across lots of items. Some of them are potions, some of them are just items, and they will tell you what exactly they're going to do right on the page that you pick them up. And you can scribble them down here, and you have 5 spots available, and that's it. So it's much like the equipment over here on this side. So you cannot have more than 5, and you cannot have more than one thing equipped in each one of these boxes. So you can feel free to drop any one of these at any time you want to replace it with another item. So potions are pretty popular. So if you grab a potion, again, it'll tell you exactly what it does on the page that you pick it up. But for example, potion of wisdom, what that does is it automatically casts a spell if you use a potion of wisdom. So it'll also tell you how many uses it has. So 1 use right here. So once you use it, it's gone, and it's gone forever. You can use potions at any time in combat, anytime you want. Doesn't matter what part of combat round you want to use it, you can use it anytime. So if you're needing to look up what a potion does, potion of wisdom, if we go to the glossary of special abilities at the end of the book, all the stuff over here will tell you what all the abilities do. So some of them are potions, some of them are equipment abilities, and some of them are spell scrolls. And some of these abilities might be found in a potion as well as imprinted on a weapon or on a spell scroll. So for example, we just saw, what did we just see? We just saw wisdom, a potion of wisdom. So right here it says it's a potion only. You can only find this in potion format. The next time you would attempt to cast a spell, it is automatically cast. So you can always look up any potion or any ability at all in the glossary at the end of the book. So again, some potions come with 1 use, some with 2, some with 3. You just keep track of these uses, and when then all your uses are gone, then you are out of this potion. You have to delete it from your backpack. And that is how you use backpack items. Okay, we're going to now talk about memories and how they work, and you can find them all down here at the bottom of your hero sheet. As you kill monsters and do cool things as you progress throughout the dungeon, you're going to get memory points, and you just rack them up right down here, and you add them up as you go, and eventually you're going to accumulate 1,000 of them. And when this happens, you regain a memory from your past, and it enables you to do cool things. So you're going to get a special memory at 1,000, at 2,200, 3,600, and so on and so forth. And eventually, once you acquire all your memories, you're going to gain a class. So rogue, mage, so on, so forth, class. But this is not going to happen in this book. You might get to 1,000, you might get to 2,200 in this book, but for the rest, you're going to have to leave that to future books. So let's say you have accumulated 1,000 or more. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the back of the book where you're going to find the memory list.
Okay, so here's how your memories work. So let's just say that you got to 1,000 memory points, and over here you're going to see your memory list. So right over here there's the mage's memories. If you keep flipping through, there's also paladin memories, and there's rogue memories, and then there's warrior memories. So each one of these memories has 4 different memories in them, and they're labeled right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So you could read through these. What you want to do first is you want to pick which class you want to select from. So you can pick mage, you can pick paladin, you can pick rogue, or warrior. So let's just say I want to pick mage. Again, you can just read through here and kind of decide which ones you want to do. But you cannot just go and pick whatever one you want. Down here we have a random memory chart, and that's going to work exactly like the random number chart does. So I'm going to select mage. I want to be a mage. I don't know which one of these I'm going to get because it's going to be random, right? There's 4 of them. So I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to put my pencil down, and I got a 4. So 4 would be Enduring Enchantment here. You can read through it, but the underlying text here says what it actually does. So if you fail to cast a spell, you can immediately try again one more time. So that's a great thing. So in my hero sheet, I would mark down in my memories Enduring Enchantment and just make a little note of what it does. And that is how you use your memories.
Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about here is death. Death is coming for you. You will most likely die as you traverse throughout your journey, and what you're going to need to do is definitely keep track of your saving point page number. So as you go, you're going to reach a saving point, and it'll tell you when you reach a saving point, and you just mark that page down, and then when you die, instead of starting the book all over again, you will go right back to your saving point page instead. So when you're in combat, you have 3 chances to defeat your monster, and if you don't, then you have to refer back to your saving point, because maybe there's something you missed along the way that could help you defeat this enemy with greater ease. So saving point page is really important, and it's okay to die. It's okay. Death is okay. Keep that in mind. And it's kind of fun to die because there's some clever ways in which you will meet your demise. So that is how you play Escaping Tenebris, the Dungeons.